Welcome to episode 2 of Conversations Over Coffee. Today we are here at Jefferson Learning Center. I'm Nancy Hafner and with me is Vicki Henley.
Morning.
Today we are going to learn about how to support your child's early learning and some important steps in your child's developmental journey. Our guests today are Linda Mathiasen, Project Facilitator for the Region 6 IEIC, and Jody Wambeck, our Early Childhood Manager for Willmar Public Schools. We are going to welcome both of them with us soon.
Let's get started. Good morning, Jody. Good morning, Linda.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us. I'm going to start with you, Linda. And I just want to say that many of our parents here in Willmar Public Schools know of the preschool programs that are available. But I'm not sure if everyone knows that there are things happening before the preschool level, that there is monitoring and support available to infants and toddlers as well as the preschoolers. Is that correct, Linda?
Yes.
Okay. Would you start, please, by letting us know what is offered and a little bit about how the process evolves?
Sure. So I am part of Region 6 IEIC, which is an interagency early childhood intervention committee. And that is part of the Help Me Grow. And one of the nice things that Minnesota has is that we offer support to families with young children ages birth to 5. And so we really want to, one, educate parents about early childhood milestones. So if they have questions about their child's development, if they are at a family function or with friends or at their child care or a church activity, whatever it may be in the community, that if they notice that their child may or may not be doing something that other children their age are doing, that they have a resource. And so we are a free, local, statewide resource that they can call on and ask us questions about their child's development.
Okay, and you referred, Linda, to a team. So I assume
Yes.
there are many people or many agencies involved. Who is part of this team?
For sure. So our team for our interagency early childhood committee is made up of public health
Okay.
nurses. It is early childhood professionals. We have mental health professionals. We have parents involved, grandparents involved, and we have child health and human services. And so we all come together throughout the school year to talk about what is happening, what are we hearing and seeing from families, where are their concerns, and how do we reach out to doctors, child care providers, child care centers, and anyone, we even go to shelters to let people know that when you are helping families and there's questions, where do you go? We are that first place. We're statewide, we're online, it's a phone number, it's very easy to reach out to us. And then an early childhood specialist on our team will reach out to you and call and ask you, what are you seeing about your child? What are your concerns?
You are well represented by many different professionals and different agencies.
Absolutely.
It's wonderful to hear. Linda, you've talked about the members of your team. Now, who is the population that you serve? Who would benefit from these services?
So Help Me Grow Minnesota is our early referral source. Anyone can refer a child, but we're really looking to do outreach to parents that are raising children ages birth to 5. We also do outreach to foster care, child home providers. I meet with a lot of physicians and nurses as well in the clinic setting to let them know that when they have a patient come in and they notice and the parent has questions, that they can reach out to us at early childhood. And that specialist will come and meet one-on-one with that child, work with them in their home, at childcare, at grandma and grandpa's, or even on a school site if they choose, to really spend and look at the whole child. So often we receive, well, I'm concerned about my child's speech. Well, it might be more speech. It could be a hearing issue that is impacting their speech. And so Help Me Grow Minnesota looks at the whole child, their physical development, as well as their brain development, and it's just a wonderful resource. We're lucky to have it in Minnesota.
Yes, we are.
And anyone can refer a child. On the top right, it says refer a child. They'll ask you questions about your child's age. What are your questions? When is the best time to reach you? And then within, depending on the age of your child, there will be an early childhood specialist that this is what they do. They work with children and families all day, every day. They will contact you and ask. And I always ask families that if a child care provider or your doctor says, you should connect with Help Me Grow and have that early childhood specialist come and meet one-on-one with your child, I encourage parents to have a post-it and to write down what are those observations. Because on some random day, someone's going to call you between 8 and 3 and say, so tell me more about your child. It's really nice to have your thoughts gathered and have it available so then they can help you right away.
Yes, but there's also another piece called Help Me Connect.
Yes, this is a new resource,
Okay.
and it is at helpmeconnectmin.org. And you can go on there and you can find tools and referral sources. So if you're looking for someone who does a really good job with a young child's dentist, you could find someone that could help with your dentist. Legal services. If you're having trouble meeting your basic needs, that could be shelter, it could be food, it could be early childhood, a child care provider. If you just have questions about what should my child be doing at age 2, or how do I prepare my child for kindergarten, that you can find on Help Me Connect.
Sounds like a huge linkage to many resources in our community.
Yep, it is created through a combination between the Department of Health as well as the Department of Education. So it's collaborative, and this is a resource for anyone in the community that wants to help a family or a young child.
Sounds wonderful. And that's been around for how long now?
It's still kind of in its early phases. It was piloted last year, and it's just slowly being launched right now. So we're also looking for people to help that if you notice that something is missing and it's your go-to source for early childhood connections, we'd like to know about it.
So my final question for our parents, I'm sure they're wondering, what is the process in connecting with these programs? What do they need to do to get the help they need?
Sure. So if you have a child ages birth to 5 that you're concerned about, or you have questions about their child development, you can go and either call our 800 number. It's 866-693-GR.
So I'm assuming with all of these different agencies collaborating together that you may go into a doctor's office and they may recommend this service as well to the parents.
Absolutely. We have those early screens, like the ages and stages questionnaire that you do at your doctor visit on a regular stage. If those scores raise any concerns or flags for the physician, this is their referral source.
Oh, nice.
And so it's really nice. We have worked very hard to work collaboratively with our doctors and nurses to make this available. And public health as well. If you're part of WIC clinics,
Sure.
they are looking for this and they are helping to connect people to this. Because again, this is free, it's local, and it helps any child before they come to kindergarten. Which also, screening at age 3 is very important, and I believe you're going to be working on that next.
Nice transition. We'll segue over there. Linda, thank you for all that information. This is new information for many of us, so I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you.
So we are going to fast forward up to age 3. And with us again today, we have Jody Wambach. And Jody is going to share a little bit about the early childhood screening process.
Yes, thanks, Vicki. So early childhood screening is actually for all children, and we like to screen, like Linda said, starting at age 3. And this really is just a quick check to see how children are developing and how they are growing. This is a little bit different than the Help Me Grow Refer, where this is open to all children, because children do need to be screened prior to entering kindergarten. So it is important that they come in for the early childhood screening. And again, it's just a quick snapshot of a child's growth and development.
Okay. Jody, do children have to live in the Wilmer district to be screened here? Is that
Yep, we do
necessary?
like to screen children that are in our district. However, we will screen children out of district as well. One of the things that we have been doing is working with our child care centers to screen on site. And some of those kids are out of district. Again, we like to screen with your district, but any district is open to screening your child.
Okay. Jody, you talked about the screening being not an assessment, but just a snapshot of the child. Can you tell me what happens to that information that is obtained during that screening?
So once you go through the screening process and the child completes the screening, we have checked their eyes, their ears, hearing, vision, developmental, language, fine motor, gross motor. So once they've gone through the screening, if they pass, the information just goes into their CUME file and kind of follows them throughout their school life. And if there are issues, we will refer them to our special ed team that will do a further assessment if needed.
So you're jump-starting some of those interventions prior to them even reaching school.
Because what we really want to do is, the whole idea of screening and Help Me Grow is that we find any developmental delays prior to entering school, so we can get them
Right.
those intervention services prior to kindergarten, you know, so the kids do have a jump start. like you
Wonderful.
said.
I know this is kind of a big day for many of the kids that come in. Should the parents prep or do anything before they bring a child in for screening?
I think just letting the child know that they're coming in to play games
Okay.
with a teacher. Talking about having their eyes looked at, their ears checked, and in the screening packet that gets sent out to parents, there's a little, you can practice with the hearing piece too, to pointing to, because you have to match shapes or whatever, and that's in there, and parents can practice that with
So
their
there's not a lot of training or practice that needs to be done, parents, before you come. Just let it be an enjoyable process.
Exactly.
Jody, you talked about the packet that comes out. Do you want to address that a little bit too? Is there some paperwork that's involved prior to coming in?
Yep. So once a parent signs up for early childhood screening, a packet will be sent out to them. And it's a rather big packet, but we
Yes.
do need all of the information. Parents can fill that out, return that to us, and then we set up the screening. And then and at the end of every screening, the children are able to leave with a wonderful backpack that is given to us by the United Way. It is a bag full of goodies for kids that Vicki will be pulling stuff out of. But there are books, there are notebooks, there's crayons, there's toothbrushes, toothpaste.
Our friends from Public Health assist us with some of these things as well.
Absolutely.
And this truly is the highlight of the screening process at the end of it, that they get to bring this wonderful little toolbox home.
Yes, may I share about the scissors? So one of the early childhood development milestones that we're looking for with children is by age 4, a child is able to operate a scissors. And that means the respect for the scissors, to know, because that's cognitive development, and then also it's the function, to be able to have the motor control to cut straight. So in order for you to really have your child be able to operate a scissors well, to have the dexterity and the strength they need to write, you need to give the scissors to your child at age 3. And so that's why I just love to see it in the backpack, because 3-year-olds need to start using the scissors. So by age 4, they're able to use it well and cut straight. Very important for being able to write and be able to keep up on what they're learning in kindergarten.
And not that we're trying to replicate school in any means, but all the things that are in here are very developmentally appropriate. So things that you can just pull out and use when you wish, parents. So thank you for bringing that up, Linda. So ladies, thanks again so much for sharing all of this information. It's good information for all of us. I'm sure it's answered many questions and maybe provoked some new questions as well. Jody, one last question I need to ask you is, what if someone has not been identified or even notified about the preschool screening? What does a parent need to do? And then what if there's a need for interpretation or translation? What needs to be done there?
Great question. So when a child does turn 3, we do send out a postcard that states your child is, ready at that age to come in for early childhood screening. And if you don't receive that postcard by the time they're 3 1/2, we would like you to call Jefferson Learning Center, and that is the 320-231-8492 number, and we can get you on that list. And if we have a family that needs interpretive services, we do have cultural liaisons on staff that are here to support them, so they can help them with the paperwork, they can help make the phone call back to the family, so we are able to support them.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jody. I've actually been part of the screening process for many years, and the results of these screenings are so very helpful to everyone, but it's also just a very big day for our children. So embrace that. Thank you, and we'll see you next segment of Conversations Over Coffee.